Hi everyone, I'd like to thank the teachers, the students, and the parents for another great concert last Saturday. So, the pressure's off, right? Everybody has kind of relaxed, and all of the stress of the show is behind us? Not necessarily, because you know what's happening now? Everybody's looking back, and we have a lot of analytical students right now. Everyone's listening to recordings and talking to their friends and their loved ones about the show and getting everybody's opinion of how they thought that it went. And they are being very, very hard on themselves. How do I know this? Well, because I've been a musician for a long time, and I have never, whether I was a student or a professional, listened to a recording of myself that I wasn't completely mortified by. And some of them were pretty good. Some of them were not good at all, but some of them were pretty good. And I'm mortified by all of them because we are our worst critic. We are so hard on ourselves. We listen to a recording and we rip everything to shreds. Always. More so than the teachers even. More so certainly than your parents, because your parents are always proud of you. Always. And they want you to do your best, and they're going to think that it's great. So let's talk about what you should really be focused on, instead of ripping your performance to shreds. We should be focusing on what you learned from this experience. That's one of the main reasons we put on these concerts, is for you to learn. Yes, we want you to showcase your hard work. We spend a lot of time preparing for these concerts. But we want you to learn. Yes, of course we want you to learn about music. We want you to learn about composers, about pieces you'd never heard of before. We want you to learn about music history. But we also want you to learn about yourself. We want you to learn about something that you never really thought of in terms of yourself before. And I guarantee you, all 43 students who performed that day, they all learned something new about themselves. Maybe you learned about your character. Maybe you learned about how you handle situations. Maybe you learned about your work ethic. Maybe you learned about your nerves and your emotions. You were sort of forced to recognize them that day. Because let me tell you, most of the audience members who are adults that day, they would totally opt out of a high-pressure situation like that if they had the choice. So you should congratulate yourself on putting yourself in a very high-pressure situation in front of strangers, because that alone is no easy feat, I'm telling you. And as people who have been musicians for a long time, the teachers and I, we don't really understand a life without that because we've been doing it since we were children. But your parents do. If they're not musicians, then they understand a life without performing. And they can't believe what you went up there and did. They are proud of you. And we are proud of you. But the most important thing that you take from this experience is what you learned, and taking what you learned and applying it to everything that you do. We want you to apply it to your lessons and your personal practice time. We want you to apply it to your studies at school. We want you to apply it to your interaction with other kids, with your family members, with your friends, with your teachers. We want you to apply everything you learned to your daily life. And if you can do that, then you succeeded. You learned something, and you learned how to apply that to other things. So good for you. It's good. It's all good. If we can learn something from a situation, then it was a success. So thank you all. Thank you again for a great show, for helping me to put on a great show. And we look forward to the next one. Have a great day.